Some cars from the good old days just refuse to die, and believe it or not, you can still grab a vintage GM Legend for under 10 grand. Today, we're digging into the tough classics that were built to outlast trends, repairs, and even some marriages. And for folks who want something durable, easy to repair, and full of character, these old school GM rides are tough to beat. Number 5, Chevrolet Caprice late 1980s to early 1990s. The Chevrolet Caprice wasn't just a car, it was part of the American landscape. From police departments to taxi fleets, this big sedan proved itself as one of GM's most unshakable workhorses. Owners still tell stories of these cars running 500,000 miles with nothing more than routine maintenance and the occasional transmission refresh. That's the kind of track record that makes you wonder why they ever stopped building them this way. Under the hood, most Caprices came with a legendary small block V8, paired to a 4-speed automatic that's about as complicated as a hammer, simple, strong, and cheap to fix. Sure, you're not buying this car to win a fuel economy contest. Expect around 15 to 18 miles per gallon, but here's the thing. Parts are so plentiful and so affordable, you can keep one alive forever without breaking the bank. Step inside, and you'll find one of the last great examples of true American comfort. Massive bench seats up front, suspension tuned for soft cruising, and enough legroom in the back to keep everyone happy on cross-country drives. It's a car that swallows up highways with a smoothness you just don't find in modern crossovers. If you're shopping today, focus on models from the late 80s into the early 90s. These tend to have fewer rust issues compared to earlier versions and still benefit from the classic GM build quality. Prices? You can find solid drivers between $5,000 and $9,000, often owned by retirees who babied them since new. And if the Caprice feels like the ultimate highway cruiser, the next GM icon on our list could be called the Swiss Army knife on wheels, rugged, versatile, and still in high demand today. Number 4, Chevrolet Suburban late 1980s to mid 1990s. If the Caprice was America's highway cruiser, the Chevrolet Suburban was the family fortress on wheels. This is the SUV that set the template for what we see on the road today. Long before crossovers took over, the Suburban was hauling kids, boats, trailers, and just about anything else you could throw at it, and it did so with a level of durability that made it legendary. Pop the hood on most of these, and you'll find the tried and true 5.7-liter small block V8, though some were optioned with a big block 7.4-liter for serious towing. These engines are known for shrugging off abuse, and the 4-speed automatic transmission paired to them was one of GM's most reliable. Yes, fuel economy dips into the low teens. We're talking 12 to 15 miles per gallon, but if you need space and power, it's a small price to pay. Inside, it's pure practicality. You'll find simple controls, durable cloth or leather seats, and cavernous space that can swallow an entire camping trip's worth of gear. Families love them because they could haul up to 9 passengers in comfort, while farmers and tradespeople appreciated their towing and hauling ability. The Suburban was, quite literally, the do-it-all vehicle before that phrase even existed. Today, clean examples from the late 80s into the mid-90s can often be found in the $7,000 to $10,000 range. Rust on the lower doors and rear quarters is something to watch for, so always check underneath before you buy. But if you find a well-kept one, you're looking at an SUV that can serve for decades more, with parts still readily available at any corner parts store. And while the Suburban was built to conquer work and family life, the next GM classic brought a touch of elegance, a car that made you feel like a CEO even if you were just commuting to the grocery store. Number 3, Buick Roadmaster early to mid 1990s. The Buick Roadmaster is one of those hidden gems in GM's lineup that enthusiasts still whisper about. On the outside, it looks like a big, formal sedan or wagon. But under the skin, it's basically a Corvette in disguise, no joke. Starting in 1994, Buick dropped GM's legendary LT1 5.7-liter V8 under the hood, the same engine found in the Corvette of that era. Suddenly, you had a giant family cruiser with real muscle. The Roadmaster sedan and wagon were built for comfort, not just power. These cars float down the highway with a whisper-quiet ride, soft suspension, and wide seats that feel more like living room furniture than car chairs. The wagons even offered rear-facing third-row seating, making them perfect for big families or anyone who loves the nostalgia of kids waving at traffic from the back window. Reliability, these things are tanks. The LT1 engine is known for hitting well over 200,000 miles if maintained, and the 4-speed automatic transmission is equally stout. Like with most GM cars of the era, watch for intake manifold leaks and rust along the wheel arches. But neither issue is a deal breaker if caught early. Fuel economy isn't spectacular, but it's better than you'd think for a land yacht of this size, usually around 17 miles per gallon in the city and 24 on the highway. For a big rear-wheel drive V8 sedan, That's not bad at all. As for pricing, Roadmasters have been creeping up in popularity, but you can still snag a good one between $6,000 and $9,000, especially if you go for the less flashy sedan instead of the wagon. The best part? You'll own a car that makes people smile wherever you take it, because chances are they either rode in one as a kid or always wanted one when new. And while the Roadmaster gave you muscle in a tuxedo, the next GM icon on our list was all about luxury swagger, a Cadillac that redefined American comfort in the 90s. Hey, quick pit stop before we roll into the top 2. If you're watching us on the big screen at home, grab your phone real quick, hit that subscribe button, and drop a comment telling me which city you're watching from. I love seeing where all these classic car fans are tuning in from. It's like our own road trip across North America. Number 2, Cadillac DeVille, early to mid 1990s. When people talk about the golden age of American luxury, the Cadillac DeVille is usually part of that conversation. This was the car you bought when you wanted to float through life, smooth, quiet, and unapologetically big. For many, the DeVille symbolized success, and even today, slipping behind the wheel makes you feel like you're in charge of the road. Most early 90s models came with Cadillac's rock-solid 4.9-liter V8. It wasn't the fastest engine, but it was smooth, reliable, and much easier to live with than the Northstar V8 that showed up later in the decade, a motor infamous for head gasket issues. So if you're shopping, stick with the pre-Northstar DeVilles. They're the sweet spot for dependability. On the road, this car is the definition of comfort. The suspension is soft and forgiving, the cabin is whisper quiet, and the seats are so plush you'll think you're riding in a leather recliner. Cadillac stuffed these cars with features ahead of their time. Digital dashboards, premium audio systems, automatic climate control, and even memory seats. Not bad for a car you can still find for under 10 grand today. Fuel economy lands around 15 to 17 miles per gallon in the city and 23 on the highway, which, for a big luxury sedan of this era, is respectable. And here's the kicker. Maintenance is straightforward, and parts are easy to track down thanks to Cadillac's long production runs. Market prices for clean DeVilles usually range from $5,000 to $8,000. Watch for worn suspension components and failing digital displays, but those are small issues compared to the overall value. A well-kept DeVille offers that unmistakable Cadillac prestige without the scary repair bills. And while the DeVille was all about luxury and comfort, the number 1 spot on our list goes to a GM legend so tough, entire police fleets trusted it for years, and you might just find one still running strong today. Number 1, Chevrolet Impala, mid to late 1990s, the 9C1 police package. When it comes to GM legends that just refuse to die, the Chevrolet Impala from the 1990s, especially the 9C1 police package, sits at the very top. Built on the same platform as the Caprice, the Impala was the muscle-bound cousin that wore a sharper suit. Police departments across North America ran these cars hard, day and night, and yet so many of them still survive today. That alone should tell you how bulletproof they are. The real star here is what's under the hood, the LT1 5.7-liter V8, the same powerhouse used in the Corvette of the era. Paired with a tough 4-speed automatic, this engine delivered around 260 horsepower serious muscle for a full-size sedan of the 90s. Reliability is excellent, provided you keep up with basic maintenance like cooling system checks and regular fluid changes. Fuel economy? Think 16 to 17 miles per gallon in the city, up to 24 on the highway, not bad for a heavy V8 sedan. But honestly, you don't buy an Impala SS or 9C1 to save gas. You buy it because it's one of the coolest combinations of muscle car attitude and family car practicality GM ever built. Inside, you'll find wide bucket seats, simple controls, and a no-nonsense layout. These cars weren't about luxury, they were about getting the job done with style. That's why collectors are starting to hunt for them now, especially the Impala SS with its menacing blacked-out trim. Price-wise, you can still track down decent examples between $7,000 and $10,000, though the nicest SS models are climbing fast. If you want one, don't wait too long. This is one of those cars destined to keep appreciating. And before we wrap things up, I've got a bonus pick that doesn't always make the lists, but trust me, it's one of GM's most overlooked gems if you're hunting for a tough classic under 10 grand. Bonus pick, Oldsmobile 88, late 1980s to mid 1990s. The Oldsmobile 88 doesn't always get the spotlight, but for folks in the know, it's one of the most dependable GM classics you can still find without breaking the bank. This was the car for families who wanted comfort and reliability without the Cadillac price tag. And here's the kicker, many of these cars are still on the road today, quietly outliving newer vehicles by sheer toughness. Most late 80s and early 90s models came with GM's rock-solid 3.8-liter V6, known as the Buick 3800. This engine is legendary for longevity. It's not unusual to see them sail past 300,000 miles with nothing more than basic care. Pair that with a simple 4-speed automatic, and you've got one of the most dependable drivetrains GM ever produced. Behind the wheel, the 88 offers exactly what buyers of the time wanted: a smooth, quiet ride, cushy seats, and enough space for the whole family. Sure, it wasn't flashy, but it was the kind of car you could drive to work every day for 20 years, and many people did. Fuel economy sits around 19 to 28 miles per gallon, which was downright impressive for a full-size American sedan of the era. The best part? These cars are still among the most affordable classics out there. Clean examples often sell for $4,000 to $7,000, and because the 3800 engine was used across so many GM models, parts availability is excellent. That means you can keep one alive practically forever. So whether you're chasing the luxury of a Cadillac, the muscle of an Impala, or the quiet toughness of an Oldsmobile 88, GM built plenty of classics that can outlast just about anything on the road, all while staying under 10 grand. If you want a classic that won't let you down, these vintage GM legends prove you don't need deep pockets to drive something timeless. Check out our other videos for more tough cars that won't quit.